Hey, I'm Jen Hall, wife, mum to 4 beautiful daughters, teacher and scrapbooker. I've been scrapbooking for over 9 years now, and in that time I think I've tried nearly every storage solution for my scrapbooking supplies known to man. Today I'm going to share with you some storage solutions for storing your ribbons. If you're anything like me, you have a huge collection of ribbons but you just don't know how to store them. I've had the problem over the last few years. So today I'm going to show you some new techniques, ways of keeping your ribbons nice and safe and ready to use. Up until now, I have been keeping my ribbons in some big jars, pretty much like this one. And although it's great to look at, it simply is just too full of ribbons and there's bits that fly out and I can never find the perfect match for a project. So today I'm going to show you how to store your ribbons now with some new ways. Here are now 2 ways I now store my ribbons. It serves 2 purposes too. One, I can actually see where everything is and know what ribbons I have in stock, and also they look great in my studio on my desk. They are both readily available from Spotlight and craft stores, and they're made by Kaiser. This particular box houses a collection of ribbons that I use regularly, so I need to be able to pull them out and have them at the ready at any time. So they simply pull out from the little holes in the wood. And this is the project we're going to be making today. It's great for storing a more wide range of ribbons, and the bonus is if you're going to a crop or to a retreat, you can simply open up the box and take a ribbon cut out, and with the colour scheme you're working with, just take those colours. To create the box, we first need to paint some of the pieces. The box actually comes in a flat pack, ready for you to assemble yourself. So we're going to begin by painting it with a foam brush. We're just going to brush it along like so and cover all the sides and the top and the bottom. While some of your pieces are drying from the paint, we're just going to cover some of the other parts with some pattern paper. I'm using a Mod Podge, which is actually a sealer and also can act as a glue to adhere your paper to your wood. So I'm just going to cover each piece all over with the Mod Podge, and then I'm going to lay it down onto the paper and smooth out the edges. Now I hate having to cut things out with a craft knife or scissors, so to save time I actually use a sanding block and simply sand off the edges of the paper off the sides of the board. Now not only does this make a nice edge, but also I find it adheres better to the wood as well. Once I have sanded all the edges and gotten rid of all the dust, I simply add another coat of Mod Podge. This actually seals it and protects it from dust and grime that might be around your scrapping supplies. So I'm simply brushing the brush with the Mod Podge right to the edges to give it a nice clean finish. Now that all of my pieces are dry, I simply brush a little bit of acrylic paint around the edges to finish it off. Now that everything's dry, we're going to assemble the box. Simply place a bit of adhesive along the edges of each side and then place it down into the slots. Now we're just going to set the box aside for a minute and work on the lid. I've covered it with pattern paper exactly the same way as we've covered all the other pieces. So now we're going to decorate it. I start by taking some ribbon and adhering it to the front of the box. This creates a tab. So we're just going to stick a little bit of glue here and stick down our ribbon. Next I've cut a piece of pattern paper which we're going to stick down over the top of the tab to create a background. For the next embellishment on the lid, we're going to actually cut a design for some pattern paper. I'm just using a heart shape. And we're actually going to add some ribbon behind it as well. I've adhered all my adhesive to the back, and then I'm just going to add little pieces of ribbon along there and fold them over so that when I adhere it to the box, it's going to have some little tabs. To embellish it a little bit more, we're just going to add a flower behind the heart. I've also put adhesive on the back of the flower, so you simply peel it off and stick it directly onto the lid, just like so. Another great design tip is to actually doodle around the edges of your pattern paper. This makes it stand out from the background and it's really quick and easy to do. I'm just going around the outside of my scallops, and then you can also go around and outline your heart. To personalise my box a little more, I've decided to add a favourite photo, so I'm going to adhere it to the top left-hand corner of the lid and stick it down. The only thing left to do now is to add a title. So I've cut my pattern paper again, some white card this time, and we're just going to stick that down the bottom and add a heart, and then embellish it with a title for what your box is. To finish off, we're just going to brush over the entire lid with some Mod Podge just to cover it and to seal it and protect it from dust and grime. One last little tip. I actually took my ribbon reels from inside my box and painted them with acrylic paint the same colour as the box, and then simply attached my ribbons to it and secured them all on the back with some invisible tape. And you're ready to go. I hope this has given you an idea on how to create a ribbon box for your own scrapping space, easily completed in an afternoon. And once you have it finished, you'll be able to find your ribbons far more quickly and efficiently.